The encounter. Commander Leo Vega was alone in deep space. His ship, Nova 7, had lost contact with Earth 6 days ago. Oxygen was running low. Systems were failing. Hope was almost gone. He sat inside the control room, staring at the stars through the cracked glass. Silence filled the ship. Only the sound of his breathing and the soft hum of the backup generator remained. He pressed the record button. Day 117. "This is Commander Leo Vega of the UISA," he said, his voice tired. "If anyone hears this, I'm probably gone." His voice trembled a little, but he tried to stay calm. He had trained for this, but nothing in his training prepared him for what happened next. A soft sound broke the silence. Not static, not a machine. A voice. It was soft, almost like a whisper. Not human, not any language he knew, but it spoke his name. Leo. His eyes widened. He turned to the screen. Nothing. Just static. He stood up slowly, checking the comms panel. No signal, no frequency. Nothing was showing. Then again. Leo Vega. The voice was closer now, gentle and strange. "Who's there?" he asked, looking around the empty room. "Hello?" No answer, just silence. Then suddenly, the ship's systems came back online. Lights flickered. Air filters whirred. The navigation screen glowed with green lights. "No way," Leo whispered. "How is this happening?" A strange pattern appeared on the screen. Glowing symbols. Not numbers, not letters. They danced across the monitor like a language he couldn't understand. Then, a face appeared. It was not human, but not ugly either. A woman. Her skin was smooth and glowing, almost silver. Her eyes were large and deep purple, like stars. A crown floated above her head, made of energy and light. She didn't speak with her mouth. The words came straight into his mind. "You called out, and I answered." Leo stepped back. "What are you?" "I am called many things, but to you, I am the one who saved you." "How did you?" He paused. "Why me?" Her eyes studied him like he was something rare. "Your voice, your pain, your loneliness. It reached across the stars. I felt it. I followed it." "So you're an alien?" he asked, heart racing. "Yes," she said, "but more than that. I am a ruler. An empress." The ship began moving on its own. The stars outside were shifting. They were no longer in the same position. "What's happening?" Leo asked. "I am bringing you to me." "Wait. No, I didn't ask for this." Her voice became softer. "You are already mine, Leo Vega. You just don't know it yet." Leo ran to the control panel, trying to stop the ship, but none of the commands worked. The system was locked. He looked up at the screen again. She was still there, still watching him. "Don't fight it," she said. "You were chosen." "Chosen for what?" But she didn't answer. The screen faded. Her face disappeared. He was alone again. But the ship was moving fast, toward something unknown. Leo sat down slowly. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know who, or what, she really was. But deep inside, a strange feeling grew. Fear, yes, but something else too. Curiosity, and something he didn't want to name yet. Something like a pull. She spoke my name. The stars outside Leo's ship were no longer familiar. They bent, twisted, and danced in strange patterns. Constellations disappeared. Colors blended into each other like melting paint. Leo sat frozen in the pilot's seat, watching the galaxy shift before his eyes. His ship was moving, but he wasn't the one controlling it. The screen in front of him was blank now. No map, no readings, no way to navigate. But she was still here. Somehow, he felt her presence. Her voice no longer echoed through the speakers. It was quieter now, closer, like she was inside his head. "Do not be afraid, Leo Vega," the voice whispered. He looked around sharply. You're not real. This isn't real. But deep down, he wasn't sure anymore. Everything felt real. Too real. He tried to reset the controls. Hard reboot. Nothing worked. The ship didn't respond to touch or code. It was like it had become hers. What do you want from me? He muttered. A pause. Then softly, everything. Leo stood, heart racing. Why me? There was no answer. Just a low hum, like a lullaby made of stars. Then the lights dimmed. A soft glow appeared at the center of the ship's control room. Particles floated in the air like dust, glowing white and silver. They spun slowly, forming a shape, a figure. Tall, elegant, impossible. She was here, not just on the screen. Here, standing in his ship. The same silver skin, the same glowing eyes. But now, her presence filled the room like gravity. Leo stepped back instinctively. What are you? I told you, she said, walking slowly toward him. Her feet didn't touch the ground. I am Empress Kalira, ruler of the Sapphire Quadrant, voice of the void, seeker of lost souls. That sounds dramatic. She tilted her head, smiling slightly. You are the first to speak to me like that. Maybe because you kidnapped me. No, she said softly. I saved you. Your ship was seconds from failure. You had no future. I gave you one. He frowned. You don't even know me. Her eyes glowed brighter. I know more than you think. I've been watching you, Leo Vega. For many days, many nights. You've been spying on me. She nodded. Yes. Your emotions, they ripple across space like waves. Your sadness called to me. Your strength, your pain, it fascinates me. You don't know anything about me, he said, trying to stay calm. But his voice cracked, because part of him wondered if she did. Why me? He asked again, more quietly now. Kalira floated closer. Her hand reached toward him, glowing softly with blue light. Because you are different. Your kind, your species, it is fragile, short-lived. But you burned like a star, even in silence. I felt your soul from 1,000 light years away. Leo felt something strange in his chest, like fear and awe, and something else. I'm not special, he whispered. You are, to me. For a moment, the room went completely silent. Then the lights flashed. A warning appeared on the screen. Unidentified wormhole breach. The ship jerked violently. Leo was thrown to the ground. Everything shook. What's happening? He shouted. Kalira looked toward the screen, her expression unreadable. They found us. Who? My enemies. They do not want me to bring you to my world. They fear what you might become. The ship rattled again. Outside the window, huge black ships passed by like shadows, silent and fast. You brought me into a war. Leo shouted. No, she said. They brought war to me. Because of you. You're insane. Maybe, she whispered, and her face changed. Softer, sadder. But I still want you. Suddenly, she raised her hand. A glowing shield wrapped around Leo. What are you doing? He shouted, panic rising. Protecting what's mine. The ship exploded in white light. Everything vanished. Leo felt like he was falling through space, weightless, breathless, lost. Then, silence, darkness, and then, a new sky. Red moons, floating cities, stars that pulsed like heartbeats. He was standing on solid ground, on another planet. Kalira stood beside him, watching him carefully. Welcome to my world, Leo Vega, she said. You will never be alone again. Leo looked up at the alien sky, his mind spinning. He had just crossed galaxies, and he didn't know if he'd ever make it home again. Trapped in her palace, Leo Vega woke up on a bed too soft to be real. The sheets felt like liquid silk. The ceiling above him shimmered like it was made of stars. Gentle music played in the background. Soft, echoing tones, not from any human instrument. He sat up quickly. This wasn't his ship. This wasn't Earth. And the voice inside his head was gone. Only silence now. His heart pounded as he looked around the room. The walls were smooth, glowing slightly with a silver-blue light. Tall windows stretched from floor to ceiling, showing a view of floating cities, red moons, and ships that moved like shadows across the sky. Leo stood slowly, his legs still weak. He walked toward the window and stared at the world outside. It was beautiful. Too beautiful. Like a dream he couldn't trust. The door opened without a sound. Two tall beings walked in, not fully human, not fully machine. Their skin looked like polished stone. They didn't speak. They simply bowed and motioned for him to follow. Leo hesitated. Where is she? The guards didn't answer. They turned and walked ahead. Leo followed. They led him through long hallways of light and glass. Statues of unknown creatures lined the walls. Everything was silent, peaceful, almost holy. But something inside Leo felt wrong. This wasn't a rescue. This was a cage. They reached a grand hall. The ceiling was open to the sky. A strange energy hung in the air, like the room was alive. And at the center, on a throne floating above the ground, sat Empress Kalira. Her dress flowed like smoke. Her crown shimmered like stardust. And her eyes, still glowing, locked onto him the moment he stepped inside. Leo Vega, she said, her voice echoing softly through the hall. You are awake. Where am I? He asked. My palace, in the heart of my empire. You are safe now. I didn't ask to be brought here. She stood slowly. You were dying. You belong to me now. I'm not yours, he said sharply. Kalira tilted her head, almost curious. You still resist. Good. I admire that. It makes the connection stronger. What connection? She stepped closer, her feet never touching the ground. Between us, it began the moment you called into the void. I heard you. I felt you. I didn't call anyone, he said. I was sending a distress signal. Anyone could have picked it up, but only I did. She raised her hand. The air shimmered. Suddenly, Leo's voice played in the air around them, the recording from his ship. This is Commander Leo Vega. If anyone hears this. Kalira closed her hand. The sound vanished. Your sadness, she said. It reached across galaxies. It touched something in me. Then let me go. No, she said softly. You don't understand yet, but you will. Leo took a step back. What do you want from me? Companionship. Understanding. Something deeper. Why not find someone from your own world? I've ruled for centuries, she said, her voice suddenly quieter. No one understands me. No one questions me. No one challenges me. You do. So this is what? Some kind of game to you. No, Leo. This is fate. Suddenly, her eyes darkened. The hall grew colder. But there are rules here. You cannot leave the palace grounds. Not without me. And if I try? She smiled. Not kindly. You won't like the consequences. Two guards appeared behind him again, silent, watching. I've given you a room, clothes, food, comfort, more than you had on that broken ship. In return, I ask only your presence, your mind, your company. Leo clenched his fists. You mean you want a prisoner? I mean, she said, stepping close enough for him to feel her cold breath. I want you to choose me. And if I don't? Her smile faded. You will. In time. Leo turned and walked away. But as he left the hall, he noticed something strange. Another hallway. Darker, locked behind a glowing barrier. Inside it, he saw something move. A shadow. Something human. Another prisoner. But before he could get closer, one of the guards stepped in front of him. Forbidden, the guard said in a deep, robotic voice. Leo walked away, but the image stayed in his mind. Someone else was here. Maybe more than one. Maybe he wasn't the first. Why do I feel this way? Leo couldn't sleep. Days had passed since he arrived in the Empress's palace. He couldn't tell how many exactly. There was no sun, no night, just the soft, never-ending glow of alien skies. The palace was beautiful, quiet, perfect. But beauty can be a kind of prison too. He was given everything. Food that tasted like stars, clothes that moved like wind, rooms with views of strange planets and twin moons. But he was never alone. Invisible machines watched him. Silent guards followed him. And somewhere, always, she was watching too. Empress Kalira. She visited him every day, sometimes just to talk, sometimes only to sit in silence, staring at him with those deep violet eyes. He hated her. At least he told himself he did. But when she left, he felt cold, empty, like something was missing. And that scared him more than anything. One evening, Leo was walking through the garden, a place filled with glowing plants, floating butterflies made of light, and fountains that sang when the wind touched them. He walked slowly, pretending to admire the strange flowers. But really, he was searching for that door again. The forbidden hallway, the shadow he had seen behind the glowing wall. And he found it, hidden behind vines of silver leaves. The same energy gate buzzed softly, protecting whatever was inside. Leo stepped closer. He whispered, "Hello? Is someone in there?" Silence. Then, a whisper, not from inside, from behind him. "You shouldn't be here." He turned quickly. Kalira stood only a few steps away. Her expression was calm, but her eyes were sharp. Leo tried to speak, but she raised a hand. "Curiosity," she said softly, walking toward him. "It's a dangerous thing." "What is this place?" he asked. She looked at the glowing door. "A mistake." "What's behind it?" "A reminder," she said, "of what happens when humans think they can survive in my world." Leo stepped back. "Others were here before me, weren't they?" She looked at him, didn't answer. "How many?" Still silence. "What happened to them?" Finally, she spoke, her voice cold and distant. "They were not like you." "What does that mean?" She looked at him with something that almost looked like pain. "You're stronger, more compatible." Leo shook his head. "You're using me, just like you used them." Kalira's expression didn't change. "No, they were tests. You are the real connection." "What connection?" Leo shouted. "You keep saying that like it means something." She stepped closer. "Come with me." "No, answer me." "Come," she said again. Not a request this time. A command. Before he could refuse, a wave of energy pulled him forward. His body floated off the ground. He couldn't move. Her power wrapped around him like invisible hands. Then everything changed. The hallway vanished. The garden vanished. He was somewhere else now. Dark, quiet, endless, floating. He saw visions, memories, but not his own. Kalira's face, younger, alone, crying in a throne room full of stars. Battles, deaths, centuries of loneliness. And then, him. His voice, his face, his heartbeat. He felt what she felt. Desire, fear, hope, obsession. He was her answer, her comfort, her escape, and in some twisted way, her weakness. Then it all stopped. Leo collapsed onto the cold floor of his palace room. He gasped for air, shaking. Kalira stood nearby, watching him carefully. "What did you do to me?" he asked, voice hoarse. "I showed you what you needed to see," she said. "So you understand. You are not my prisoner. You are my cure." "This is madness," Leo said, trying to stand. Madness is being alone for 1,000 years, she said quietly. Madness is hearing your voice in the dark and realizing it was the only real thing in the universe. Leo looked at her, breathing heavily. I don't love you, he said. I don't need your love, she whispered. I need your soul. That night, Leo sat by the window, watching the strange skies of her world. He touched the side of his head. He could still feel her there, not speaking, not watching, but feeling. And worse, he felt something too. Not love. Not yet. But something that pulled him toward her. Something dangerous. He whispered to himself, why do I feel this way? And far away, deep in her chamber, the Empress smiled. She had waited a long, long time. And now he was finally beginning to fall. Lies of the Empress. The palace was too quiet. Leo walked its glowing halls like a ghost, his thoughts louder than his footsteps. Ever since Kalira had shown him those visions, the memories, the connection, her loneliness, something had changed inside him. He didn't know if it was real. He didn't know if she was real. But he felt it. That pull, that invisible thread tying him to her. And that's what scared him the most. Because now he wasn't sure if his thoughts were his own anymore. He began watching more closely. The guards, the machines, the locked rooms. He started asking questions the palace never answered. And when he wandered too far, doors would close behind him, gently at first, then more aggressively. Something was being hidden, and he was done pretending not to notice. One morning, Leo returned to his room to find a small box left on his table. No note, no guard, no explanation. He opened it carefully. Inside was a crystal, about the size of a coin, glowing faintly red. As soon as he touched it, images flooded his mind. But not Kalira's memories this time. A face, human. A man, scared, whispering into the crystal. My name is Dr. Taylor Grant. If you're seeing this, you're not the first. Leo's breath caught. She calls it love, the message continued. But it's not. She studies us, breaks us, feeds off something inside us. Energy, emotion, I don't know. But the others, they didn't survive. The crystal flickered. Don't trust her. Escape if you can. She won't let you. But there's a way. Find the fracture gate. The message cut off. The crystal turned black. Leo stood still for a long moment, staring at it. Not the first. He had always suspected. But hearing it, seeing it, made it real. That night, Leo didn't return to his room. Instead, he waited. He knew Kalira visited him every night, sometimes to speak, sometimes to just be near him. Tonight, he would see what she did when he wasn't there. From the shadows of the garden, he watched. She arrived exactly on time, alone. Her glowing form walked into his room like she had done it 1,000 times before. But she didn't sit. She didn't wait. She walked to a wall, a blank piece of smooth glass. She placed her hand against it, and it opened. A hidden door. Leo moved closer silently. He followed her from a distance, through twisting corridors he had never seen before. Dark, unlit, cold. They led to a chamber deep beneath the palace. He stayed in the shadows, heart pounding. She entered, and Leo saw it. Rows of capsules, dozens of them. And inside, humans. Not awake, not moving, not dead either. Just frozen, asleep in silver liquid. Leo stepped back, mouth open in horror. Some were old, their bodies decayed, forgotten. Others still looked young, untouched, waiting. Kalira walked to one of the capsules and rested her hand against it. The lights above glowed red. Energy moved from the capsule to her body. Her skin shimmered brighter. Her breath grew deeper. Her expression softened, like someone taking a warm bath. She was feeding. Leo covered his mouth. This wasn't love. This wasn't obsession. This was harvesting. And he was next. He turned to leave. But the hallway behind him lit up. And she was there. Not in front of him, behind him. A second version. A projection. "You followed me," she said. Not angry. Not surprised. Just tired. Leo didn't speak. "I knew you would," she continued. "They all did." "Why?" he asked, voice shaking. "Why lie to me?" "Because truth is heavy, Leo. It crushes things before they can bloom." "So everything was fake?" "No," she said quickly. "Not everything. The connection is real. I felt it. You felt it too. You're using me. Like them." She walked closer. "I needed them. But I want you." "What's the difference?" She stopped inches away, her eyes glowing again. "The difference is choice. You have one. They didn't." Leo looked into her eyes, eyes that had seen centuries of silence, war, pain. "And still," he said, "I choose to leave." Her expression didn't change. But the room did. The lights dimmed. The capsules faded. The walls closed around them like stone. "You can't," she whispered. Leo stepped back. "You said I had a choice." "I lied," she said gently, "but not about everything." Then her voice softened again, heartbreak hidden beneath it. "If you leave me, I die." And for the first time, he saw fear in her eyes. Real fear. And maybe real love too. Her weakness is me. Leo had never seen the palace so quiet. Not peaceful. Quiet. Like the calm before a storm. The night after he saw the frozen humans, everything changed. The guards stopped speaking to him. The halls felt colder. And Kalira was missing. For the first time since he arrived, she didn't visit him. And that made Leo more afraid than anything else. He waited. Hours passed. The walls of his room no longer felt beautiful. They felt alive, like they were breathing with him, or watching him. He paced, thoughts racing, unsure what to do. Then a sound. A soft knock. Not the door. The wall. He stepped close. "Hello," he whispered. A small circle of light appeared on the wall. Not from Palace Tech. This was different. It flickered like fire, not electricity. A voice came through. "We saw what you saw." Leo's eyes widened. "Who are you?" "A mistake the Empress made," the voice replied. "And now we want out, with or without her." They called themselves the Broken. Not rebels, not prisoners. Former favorites, former connections. Each of them once thought they were special, like Leo. But when they stopped feeling what she needed, when their minds resisted her, she locked them away. But they had found a way to survive, and to hide. "She's losing control," the voice said. "You've done something to her. She's unraveling." Leo leaned closer to the light. "I don't understand. You're different. Not just compatible, dangerous to her. She built this place to be perfect, predictable, unshakable. But she didn't plan for someone like you." Leo whispered, "What do you want from me?" "Help us finish what we started. Help us break the palace. The machines, the core. And then what?" "Then she dies, and we go free." He didn't answer. Not yet, because somewhere in his chest, something still pulled him toward her. And that feeling terrified him. Later that night, the walls of his room opened without warning. Kalira stood there, but she looked different, weaker. Her crown of light flickered, her eyes dimmed, glowing only faintly. Her voice, when she spoke, trembled like wind through broken glass. "You saw them, didn't you?" she asked softly. Leo didn't speak. "You talked to them." Still silence. Kalira stepped inside. "They think they know me. They think they can survive without me." She paused. "They're wrong. They were people, Kalira, just like me." "No, not like you." Her voice shook now. They gave up. They broke. You're still whole. For now. She turned away, looking at the window, out into the dark skies. You make me feel things I buried long ago, Leo. He stared at her. That's not love. That's obsession. Call it whatever you want. But I can't let you go. Why? She looked back at him. Her eyes glistened, not with power, with tears. Because if you leave, I lose the last piece of myself that still feels alive. Leo felt his breath catch. He wanted to scream, to argue, to run. But her pain felt real, and that made everything worse. Then let me help you, he said. But not like this. Not in a cage. Not with lies and secrets. It's too late for that, she said quietly. I've kept you here too long. The palace is tied to me. If it breaks, so do I. And if I break, so do you. He stepped back. What does that mean? Kalira didn't answer. Instead, the palace shuddered beneath their feet. A low hum began, distant, rising. Alarms. The broken had begun their attack. Lights flickered, floors shifted, walls cracked open. Machines turned on their creators. Floating drones sparked and fell. Leo grabbed the wall. What's happening? Kalira closed her eyes. They're inside. You led them to me. They were already here. You just ignored them. The wall exploded nearby. A red beam cut through the air. Part of the ceiling collapsed. Kalira dropped to one knee. Leo rushed forward without thinking, catching her as she fell. You're connected to the palace, he realized aloud. If it falls, you do too. And so do you, she said weakly, because we are bound now. Soul to soul. No, he whispered. Yes, she said, her voice fading. You felt it too. It's already begun. He had a choice. Run. And let the rebels destroy her. Destroy the palace. Destroy the bond. Or stay. And try to save her. Save a monster who may have once been human. Or something close to it. He looked down at her. For the first time, she looked small. Just a woman. Not a god. Not an empress. Just alone. And in that moment, he hated how much of himself he saw in her. He touched her hand. Then let's both live, he said. The walls shook harder. He pulled her close. The palace cracked and screamed. But Leo didn't let go. You'll destroy me. But I still want you. The palace was dying. Its walls, once glowing and alive, now cracked with dark veins of lightning. Energy pulsed through the floor like a heartbeat in panic. Rooms twisted, bent, collapsed in silence. The Empire's perfect machine was breaking. And at the center of it all, Leo Vega held the Empress in his arms. Kalira's skin, once radiant, had dimmed. Her silver veins flickered, fading like the stars outside the broken windows. You shouldn't have come back for me, she whispered, her voice barely a breath. Leo didn't answer. He was too busy holding her together, both literally and emotionally. The bond between them was real now. He could feel her pain, her fear, her exhaustion, and somewhere deep beneath all of that, he felt her love, or whatever version of love a cosmic empress had learned to feel. Above them, the rebels, the broken, had taken control of the palace core. One more blow to its heart, and the entire structure would collapse into itself. It was the only way to escape the soul-binding system she had created. The only way to destroy her. They'll kill you, Leo said. Yes, Kalira nodded. And they'll free you. But we're linked, he said. You said if you die. You will survive, she whispered. The bond is weakening. I'm letting it go. Why? Her eyes met his. Because you stayed, when you didn't have to. And that means everything. A piece of the ceiling above them cracked, then fell, shattering just feet away. Sirens howled. Red lights bathed the room. Leo stood up. He looked at the shattered wall behind him, the open hall where the rebels were preparing the final strike. He could feel it, a rising pulse. They were almost ready. He looked back at her. There's another way. There has to be. There isn't, she said softly. I made sure of that. This place. Me. It was never meant to be undone. Then don't let it end, he said. Fight. She laughed bitterly, coughing. I've fought too long. Too many centuries. I just wanted to feel something again. And with you, I did. Then stay alive, he said, desperate now. With me. Her eyes filled with light. Not the cold energy of her empire, but something warmer. I'd want to, she said, but you'll never be safe with me. The others will always fear what I am. They'll hunt you, control you, use you against me. I don't care, Leo said. But I do, she whispered. A massive shockwave shook the floor beneath them. The rebels had fired the first beam into the palace heart. Kalira cried out in pain, collapsing again. Leo caught her, barely. Her body was lighter now, like it was slipping away. Please, he said, voice cracking. Please don't go. Then stop them, she said. But if you do, you'll become part of this. Forever. No escape. Leo looked toward the open hall. He had two paths. One, let them destroy the palace, free himself, walk away. Two, fight for her, save her, keep the bond, and give up everything else. He turned back to her. I don't want to lose you, he said. And she, for the first time, let tears fall. You'll destroy me, she whispered, voice shaking. But I still want you. Leo stood. He ran toward the hall. The rebels saw him. Guns raised, voices shouting. He's with her. Stop him. He's bonded. He's lost. But Leo didn't stop. He grabbed the energy core module and ripped it from its mount. Light exploded around him. The palace shook like a living thing in pain. Machines screamed. Floors buckled. And then, silence. Everything froze. Leo opened his eyes. He was still standing. But the rebels were gone. The machines frozen mid-movement. The palace, still alive. Barely. Behind him, Kalira stood again. No longer glowing. No longer divine. Just a woman. Tired. Wounded. Real. You chose me, she said. I didn't want to, Leo admitted. I know. They stood there in the flickering lights, surrounded by the ruins of power, pain, and broken stars. What now? He asked. She stepped forward. Now, we rebuild. Together. Years later, in the quiet shadows of the universe, a single palace floated beyond the maps of any known species. Its lights were dimmer, its power quieter. But inside, there were no prisoners, no cages, no frozen capsules, only one woman and one man. Bound not by force, not by fear, but by something far more dangerous. Choice. End.